Okay, Stacey, I think we're ready.
Perfect. Well, welcome everyone. For those of you who don't know me, I'm Stacy Cook, and what we're talking about today is just some of the. First, Trace, can you hear me? Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. Just talking about some of the strategy shift I made, and Tracy, you can go on to the next slide. Thanks. So about me, I do not have a large social media following. I am not an influencer. I am not a social media expert. I'm going to share with you tonight what I did and how it worked for me. I mainly built my business to gold through in-person events. But I did switch some things up recently. And so I want to share with you the results I got, what I did, and some of the details in terms of what I did. This is what worked for me. I've been to a lot of trainings. I myself am not a social media trainer, so I'm sharing with you the things that I have learned and picked up along the way and how I put them together to have some shifts in my business. So you can go to the next one, Tracy. Thanks so much. So here are my April stats. So I did get 7 new customers. I had 5 new people jump on loyalty rewards, and I had 1 new brand partner. So that was a great month for me. It actually took me back to my early days of high enrollments. It was great. But this has not been the norm for me recently. So what I did was I took kind of like a 2-pronged approach. So I knew I needed to be consistent with in-person events. It's kind of my wheelhouse. It's where I'm really comfortable, and I just need it. It just motivates me. It keeps me scheduling things and moving forward. So I knew I needed to schedule in-person events. So I did that. I had 3 in-person events in April. And then I also really wanted to get consistent on social media. So I committed to posting 5 days per week. And the way I did that was, you can actually, I think you can actually go to the next one, Tracy. Thank you. So I needed to get consistent. So you've heard this before, consistency compounds. And let me tell you, it truly, truly does. So I dedicated myself to 30 minutes every morning to my social media post. And the way that I did this, because we're all busy, right? The mornings are crazy in households, getting kids ready, people out the door, or, staying home and starting your day, whatever it looks like, it's a busy time. But I knew that I needed to carve out that time for myself. So I told my family I had a call, because a call is a lot more serious than I'm going to go sit alone in a room for 30 minutes. So I would just in the morning, I'd have my tea, and then I would tell my husband, okay, I'm going to go up and do my call. And then I'd close my door, and I would just not be on a call, but I would do the things I need to do. And I split my time into 2 blocks. So part of that is engaging, and then part of that is posting. So I'll explain to you a little bit what the details of those chunks of time look like and how I use them. So you can go a forward one. Thank you. So for engaging, so for the first 10 to 15 minutes of that 30-minute block of time I carved out, I am engaging on social media with accounts. And I'll get back in a second to how to find those accounts to engage with, or what you want to engage with. And it looks different if it's on Facebook or Instagram. For me, I engage on both, but in a given morning, I pick one. So I'm not going to be trying to squeeze in engagement on both Facebook and Instagram in 10 to 15 minutes. I'm going to say today, I'm just going to focus on engaging on Instagram or Facebook, just to kind of be a little bit focused. And the goal is to really connect with 10 people that I either haven't connected with in a really, 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 really long time, like years, or are brand new to me. So where do you find the accounts that you're going to engage with? For Facebook, I pull up my friends list, and I scroll all the way to the bottom to those people that you're friends with that you forgot even why you're friends with them, or you just don't know them that well. You don't remember how you connected, or they're your cousins you haven't talked to in 10 years. So I get really deep into my friends list, and I just start going to those profiles and then finding a recent post that I can comment on. And when I'm saying like engaging by like liking or commenting on posts, I am not talking about like, love this, that looks great. Like you have to be thoughtful. The point of this is to, engage, to create connection, aside from helping those social media platform algorithms see you and want to connect you to people. So it's kind of like twofold in terms of its purpose and benefit. But you really want to be sincere and thoughtful. You want to write comments on accounts of your friends, your Facebook friends that you haven't talked to in a really long time, that um, are thoughtful, that have a purpose, that foster connection, so in conversation, right? So something that is maybe going to have them respond to you would be great, a question. um, so that's kind of how I find accounts to engage with on Facebook. On Instagram, it's a totally different thing. So Facebook for me is really about engaging with accounts or with friends that they're already friends, right? I'm like rekindling those relationships for Facebook. Instagram is really about finding new friends, new connections. And so I do that by a couple ways. So if you're taking notes, you're gonna want to write this down. So what I do is I look for large accounts that I follow that have a lot of followers that I think are people like me, that are going to be interested in things that I'm interested in. So for me, that's like natural gardening accounts. It could be homeschooling accounts, like nutrient dense natural food accounts. Those accounts have a lot of people like me there, people that may resonate with me in things that I share. So I look at their followers and I go down their follower list and I look for accounts that are public. You don't really want to waste your time with private accounts because those people aren't interested in really like having people come to them.
Right.
So one easy way to know if an account is public is when you're scrolling down that large accounts follower list, you'll see some accounts have like the pink circle showing that they have an active story. So if you can see they have an active story, you know it's a public account. You also know they're like active and sharing stuff on social media. So those are good clues for what accounts to kind of like look and see like, oh, is this something that resonates with me? So I'll find an account, I'll look at it, I'll look at a few of their posts, I'll be like, does this person seem like me? Does this person seem like someone who might be interested in the things I talk about? And if they have a current post, then I'll comment on it and I'll like it. I'll ask a thoughtful question. So that's kind of how I find the accounts I want to engage with on Instagram. So you can either, go to a large account, look at their followers, scroll through if you think that account has people who you think, would be similar with what you've got going on and would resonate with you. You can also search by hashtag. So sometimes I'll look up certain hashtags like I share a lot, or I'm very interested in like nutrient dense foods, like ancestral ways of eating. So I'll like look up like ancestral health and like look through accounts, that I find posts under that hashtag. So you can do it by hashtags or large accounts to find new people to engage with on Instagram. So that is how I do it on Instagram. So if you find that you want to try this and you find that you're having like trouble engaging in the morning or whenever you do this, and you like are lost and you're like scrolling through Instagram being like, I don't know where to start.
Yeah.
What you can do is take like 30 minutes or an hour and create an engagement plan just by finding like 5 to 10 large accounts that when you look at their followers, you're like, these look like people like me. These look like people that resonate with what I resonate with. We might have things in common, so that you have like a little bit of a plan. Write down like 5 hashtags you want to look up and maybe 5 large accounts. So it kind of gives you an engagement plan for when you start with this.
Yeah.
So that's the engaging part. Now, after you do that, you're going to post something. So Tracy, you can go forward to the posting part. So this is the part that sometimes gets you hung up, right? Like, what am I going to post about?
Yeah.
And that's the big question. And I'm sure there are hundreds of different options and opinions and many, many ways to do this. And I'm just telling you what I did. Um, I don't post many reels. So everything that I posted was just static posts. My next step is to incorporate more reels into my daily posting, but I have not made that leap yet. So really, everything I did was static posts during this period of time. And just to be clear, I started this, I committed to this in the beginning of March. And April is when I really saw the
Yeah.
benefits. So it kind of goes back to that consistency compounds thing. So, so I just did regular posts and really focus on the content of that posts. My goal was to provide value, connection, build trust. Part of building that trust is showing up regularly, being consistent, being reliable, to create curiosity. Uh, so I kind of rotated through those types of posts, value posts, connection posts, curiosity posts to help generate leads. So I'm going to give you an example of some of these types of
Yeah.
posts, just to kind of like maybe get your creative juices flowing a little bit. Um, so a value post is really, it's just providing value to your friends and the people who follow you. Um, and this doesn't have to do anything with your product necessarily. It may at some point, but on the regular, it should not. But it's just really providing value. One of the best things you can do is just provide a life hack that helps someone save
Mhm.
money,
Mm,
time,
that's
energy.
good.
Like
Yeah.
that's what people want, right? So if you have um, some awesome bedtime or morning routine for your toddler that just is fantastic, share
Yeah.
that. I share a lot about menu planning. I share a ton about label reading because label reading is a natural gateway to the products that we share about.
That's true.
So that's something that you don't have to talk about our products, but you can still provide value in teaching people how to read labels, what to look for, why to look for things. That alone can be so many different pieces of content that you can share. So you can do anything like that. Other types of value posts would be like creating a how-to tutorial, right? Like maybe
Oh, yeah.
you're a master bread baker, or you love to make fermented foods, or you're great at gardening, or whatever it is, like you knit, you crochet, whatever. If you can do like a little how-to tutorial, which would actually be great for a reel, um, you can share that. So all of those types of things are value posts. Even sharing, any of your like personal struggles, like if you've had a
Mhm.
setback in your life, in the last 1 to 3 years, like how did you overcome that? What did you do? What did it look like? Do you have resources to share? Anytime you can share resources with people, podcasts, books, um, places that they can get more information on the things you're talking about, that's so valuable. That is what is going to get people coming back to see, like, what are you talking about? Because the last time I was here, I got some really good stuff. um, so that's kind of some examples of what a value post looks like. I would say I strive to have maybe like 2/3 of my posts be
Oh,
value
okay.
posts. um, And then for a curiosity post is basically an opportunity to share a testimonial. It's an opportunity to create curiosity around our products. Um, so it can be as simple as, like, hey, I found the thing that makes my baby sleep all night long. Or, hey, I can really eat off my kitchen floor right now because I have the most amazing cleaner. Uh, and you structure that how you would typically structure a testimonial, in that you would, share like, hey, I found this thing that gives me this benefit, whether it's, like
Yeah.
sleep, or gives me all the energy, or just makes me feel incredible. And then you describe the problem you had before you started using whatever it is that gives you the benefit. You share what you tried that didn't work. And then, you turn it back to your friends, and, you ask them like, hey, or you tell them, hey, if you're also looking to get the best night of sleep, like, you need this in your life. And then you always want to have a call to action in your posts. So for any type of post, you're going to have a call to action. So for a curiosity post, you can be to something like, drop an emoji if you're ready to sleep like a baby and be done with groggy mornings forever. And when someone does drop that emoji, that is not an invitation to send them a link. That is an invitation to start a conversation with them. So you want to create connection and conversations, and it is how many conversations you're in and connections you're having that is going to translate to those future customers.
Mhm.
It's going to translate to that point where they truly, fully trust you, and they're like, just tell me what to do and I'm going to do it. Now send me the link.
Yeah,
But when someone drops the emoji, don't just like send the link.
yeah,
I want to have a
that
conversation.
makes sense.
um, and let's talk about pictures for 1 second. So even when you are doing a curiosity post and you're talking about a product, I do not recommend that you use a product picture, because as soon as someone sees a product, they know that you're selling to them. They know you are trying to sell them something. And even though people come to social media to buy, they are willing to buy on Instagram, all those places. They don't want to be sold to. They don't want to feel like, oh, she's just here to sell me something. So I get the best traction on posts that are me. They're like my face. It could be me drinking tea, me sitting reading a book, me in my kitchen cleaning, me gardening. It's all me. Sometimes it's me and my son, or my family, but it's really, I almost never do a product picture in my regular feed. I will share a lot about products in my stories. And in my stories, I'll just put links to products too. Um, so that's what I've been going with and has kind of been working for me, is to keep product pictures out of my regular feed and keep those just in my stories. Because then you can kind of do a deep dive, and you can even refer people to your stories from your post and be like, I'm going to talk more about this in my stories later today. Go check those out. And then you could do a whole tutorial in your stories using, oil protocol that you love that is life changing for you, or whatever it may be. So
Makes sense.
um, that's my recommendation on photos. Tracy, you can go on to the last slide. So these are the results I got doing this. Like I said, I got new customers, new loyalty orders, new brand partners. And when I went and checked my engagement stats on Instagram, so this is Instagram, my engagement after I started this was up 629%. And my reach was up 230%. So those are really big changes just by getting consistent. And when I say consistent, I gave myself the weekends off. I only posted 5 days a week. So I would post Monday through Friday. And then I did not post I wouldn't post intentionally on Saturday and Sunday. I may still post about, my son's soccer game, or, all that type of stuff, but I wasn't doing very intentional calls. I wasn't taking a call time from my family on the weekends. And then I just wanted to share some of the comments I got, because I had like this guy I used to work with probably like 4 years ago. Comment, I appreciate the knowledge you share. It's important stuff here. Thank you. And that just made me feel like, I really am providing value. I really am serving. And that's one of the things that I love about what we do and what fills me up. So that just really made me feel good. And like it, what I was sharing was being impactful. And then a new friend I had just met, she commented me on a post I had shared about with like decluttering and wanting to just have like one cleaner under the kitchen sink. And she commented me. And so I messaged her and I was like, hey, and I was just like trying to converse. And she's like, no, I just want the link. Just send me the link. So, that happens. People, if they already trust you, they see something that you share that they want, they're just may ask, say, just give me that link. And then again, like I had a cousin who like I haven't spoken to in probably like a decade, tell me that I was sharing wise advice, and that also made me feel good. So just to say, um, if you get consistent, people are going to see your content more. You're going to get some great messages, and if you're consistent, you will see it convert in your business too. So that was what I wanted to share. I didn't look at any of the comments. I don't know if anyone has any questions.
Stacey, that was like freaking amazing information. I was like so engaged in like taking notes that I didn't even look at the chat. I was like, oh, I'm going to take all these notes. I think it was really interesting what you were saying, like in your feed, keep it more focused on you, your family, like not product photos. And I think that was pretty impressive. You got huge engagement and 7 enrollments without doing a reel, right? Because
Yeah,
there's so much
no.
focus on like videos and reels and I love them, but they can be kind of time consuming. But how easy is it just to take a picture, right? Like you in the garden or you in the kitchen.
Yes. And so one thing I found with pictures is like if I got ready in the morning and I felt really cute, I would just go around my house and take pictures of myself and like stand in the window where all the good light comes in and be like, oh, here, and maybe change my shirt and go put on a different shirt. But like I wear like a black t-shirt 90% of the time. So I don't even really need to change. So just like go around, take pictures. And then I use the timer on my phone, like the 10-second timer. And I would do that. Like I go out in my yard and be like, I'm gardening. Like just so like I don't even need anyone to help me take pictures. You just use your timer, like cook, if you cook, or clean if you clean, and just have your camera snap pictures of you. And if you just do that, and you get like a batch of, 5, 6, 7 pictures, you can do this for a week and not have to worry about like, oh, I wrote my content, but now I have to go take a picture. So I'm going to delay posting it. That's one thing I didn't mention is I found that I got the best engagement in my posts, or the most comments, likes, that type of thing, when I posted first thing in the morning. So I do always try to post in the morning. I'm not great with it. Like lately, I feel like I haven't been as consistent the last week. And just in that week, I feel like I've noticed a little bit of a difference. So I really do think posting early is good. But yeah, that's what I did. I went back and I looked. So I did have 7 new members. 4 of them came through social media. 3 came from the in-person events. And the people who came through social media, uh, they were people who I feel like I had not been like super engaged with necessarily in like real life. So my sense is that they started seeing things, and then that is what kind of gravitated them back to me. Uh, so yeah, that's it. That's what I did.
I love your advice of like, Facebook is sort of reconnecting with old friends and how you're like going down the list and kind of working through, because I mean, it could be dozens, hundreds, even, right? Depending on like, you think about like college friends and high school friends and old work friends and everything. And like
Yeah.
Instagram is where you're also connecting with old friends, but there was such a great platform there to connect with new friends. So thanks
Yeah.
so much for like clarifying, because I think for a lot of people, it's like, oh my gosh, what do I do? Do I just focus on one? Do I just forget about Facebook? But Facebook is still a very powerful platform, especially in connecting with our old friends. So I'm really glad that you mentioned that.
It absolutely is. And what I found is that I would go when I go and I comment on posts from friends who I haven't talked to in a long time. Like we moved, almost 2 years ago now. And so, yeah. And so there's friends from my old neighborhood who I haven't talked to because like our kids don't go to school together anymore. And we're just not engaged. And like I was I commented on this one woman's post about her kid or whatever. And it was like that same day she was liking things in my newsfeed. So that algorithm, it really does work. If you go back and you like connect with people, Facebook's then going to show your stuff to those people. So,
I love how it's like, it's so easy to do. It's like 30 minutes first thing in the morning and just kind of split your time between engagement and posting. Do you kind of have an idea of what you're going to be posting? Like, is it just like for the week or for the next few days? Or do you have kind of like an idea in your head?
well, I had like the first 2 months I was doing this because I'm now on my 3rd month. But the first 2 months I was very good, and I had like a planned out calendar of like value post, curiosity post. One thing I didn't mention is I also try to post about doing this as a business and sharing like why I do this as a business, what my experience has been, why I ever started this, inviting people to the business. And those posts you will get the least amount of engagement on, but people are seeing them. People are seeing them. So you have to talk about it, or no one knows that like they can do this business too. So I forced myself to do that, because I would tell you it's probably the most uncomfortable post, right? Like it's the one that you like tell yourself, like, no, no one wants to hear this, no one wants to know about my business. But you gotta do it, and you'll survive. So then I would try and do some business in there too. So I kind of had it planned out in advance. But the last, and this is a good reminder to me, I would say the last 2 weeks, I kind of been winging it, and it is harder. So I would definitely say, like, if you can like get like a content calendar for 30 days where you just maybe say like, it's value, curiosity, value, business, and kind of like go through like that. And then you don't have to decide every day what you're going to post about.
I think that's really good advice. And I think whatever kind of works for, maybe you're the type of person, like whoever is watching the replay or on live with us, like they might be kind of an in the moment person. I know you and I are more like planners. And I love the idea of a 30-day planner, but even like a 1 week or a 2 week, like whatever kind of works for you. But I love that you're just sort of like, okay, 2/3 is going to be like a value post, 1/3 is going to be more of like a curiosity post, and just kind of like fall into sort of that rhythm that just kind of makes it easy. Yeah, I love it.
Yeah.
You had some questions, because you and I were talking about this, but there were like certain things, right? Like it was sort of the unpopular opinion. Like you had
Yeah.
things, right? Like topics or themes. Yeah.
Yes. Like, and these are ones that like if you Google like social media value posts, like you'll find these ideas. Um, but yes, like things that tend to create engagement, questions that create engagement are always really good, right? So when you share an unpopular opinion, people always want to talk about that. Like, I think some that I've done are like, like all about paper, not a digital calendar. And I know some people like love their digital calendars. Or like, do you let your dog sleep in your bed? Anything about pets. People love to talk about their pets. And there's so much you can do like that. And it just, as long as it's like something that really is your opinion and resonates with you, there's so much you can share. Also, like when you think about your own journey with wellness, because that's what we're in, right? Um, sharing about that, like, what are 3 myths that people have, like dispelling myths, mistakes people make when they get started on this type of a journey. Because all of those give you an opportunity to educate and provide valuable information to help someone who might be at the point you were at, say, 3 years ago. A good way to think about it is like, where was I 3 years ago? What does that person need? What can I give those people now that will help them get to here? So
Oh, that's such good information. I feel like you're giving everybody on the call like so many ideas, all the things. Um, I hope everybody is inspired to make social media. I know I need to personally as well. First thing in the morning, make it a priority, start working on your engagement, start working on your posts, and like not feeling like it needs to be like this big beautiful thing, but just really you in real life, right? Like that's what people resonate. Yeah, not you are a beautiful thing,
yeah,
but what I mean is like I can get in that analysis paralysis of like, did I use the filter and did I put it in the right
yeah,
light and is this the right angle? And when you're
yeah.
just like, you know what, I'm going to go for it and just do it and like commit, right? Yeah.
Yes. B minus work. B minus work. You just need B minus work.
I love it. I love it. B minus work. Done is better than perfect, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. It's so good. Okay, everybody, who's going to be doing this? Who's going to be doing every single day and committing to it? And can I just add one more thing? Stacy, I think you were kind of doing this like with the group, right? Like there was a bunch of you who kind of committed together.
For
And I
the first 30 days,
right?
yes.
And the accountability probably really helps. So,
Yes.
we'll post this video in Gather and Dwell, but if this is something that you're like, you know what, I really need to do this. I really need to do this for 30 days and have some accountability. Let's see, who else will, kind of join in and do it together. So I love that.
Yeah,
Thank you so much, Stacey. This was like stellar, amazing content.
good. I hope it's helpful.
All right, everyone. Thanks so much for joining. We'll get the replay up soon. And
Thank you.
thank you so much, Stacey.
All right. Bye.
Bye.